Hello and welcome to this minor region wrap-up video where we cover the minor regions, the top 5 players in each role based on stats and stats alone. You can comment down below with what you think are the top 5 players in each role in the minor regions. If you watch them all, if you believe that stats do not give a good indication of a certain player, I'm more than glad to read them. Looking at them as scouting and insight more so than an argument, because I do believe, obviously, by not watching any of these teams play outside of a couple CBLOL games, to really be able to make judgment or cast judgment on these players. It's difficult to watch all 11 regions or 10 regions. As well, after that, I'm going to say who I think, based on the algorithm, is going to go to Worlds in each of these minor regions, and we can talk about that in the comments as well. So, top-rated top laner Nasser Esports Turkey has a presence on this list today. You know, a lot of their fans have been upset with me because I've kept Nasser out of the top 10 of minor region teams, and that's because the TCL is on Struggle Street. I am aware that not all minor regions are created equally, so it's almost unfair to put the PCS and VCS up against TCL and Latin America and, you know, the rest. All on an even playing field, but really that's the only way to do this. Outside of doing each minor region as a video, and I don't believe that the view count really will be reflective of the effort when it comes to something like that. I've found that some regions don't really care about that sort of content, CBLOL being an exception. And we've had a couple TCL people comment on my videos, so they might be, you know, above LLA, LCO, and LJL in that regard, which is, you know, respectable nonetheless. So, Bong from Nasser, Turkey, 9.1 CS per minute. That is elite in the top lane. 9 CS per minute. When he goes to Worlds, he is going to be at least competitive in lane. 6.5 KDA, 460 gold per minute, probably because he farms so well. Robo from Loud in CBLOL, second place, 28.8% of his team's damage in the top lane for the whole split. 665 damage per minute, 33.3% of first bloods on his team had him involved. That was high for a top laner. The 3 stats I choose to talk about, I use gamesoflegends.gg for my stats. And these are just their most notable, highest ranking stats, where they rank highest. Across the rest, you know, it's an aggregate, and that's the aggregate gets you on the board in the first place. Parang from Kaboom Esports, he really struggled in playoffs. That's no doubt. I believe I said on the Discord he went like 4-28 or something really crazy. He went 0-14-5 on Renekton in one game. But this is regular season. 28.8% damage share, 650 damage per minute, and he was up 1k gold at 15 minutes on average in his lane against his opponent, which is pretty damn incredible. Think about it, a 1k gold lead at 15 minutes on average for a top laner. Like, that's pretty great. Topoon from Chief Esports Club, 7.7 KDA, 671 damage per minute, 800 XP difference at 15 minutes. So he was ahead 800 XP every game on average, gapping his opponents. Like, these guys, a lot of these guys gapped their opponents. And that, when push comes to shove, internationally, we're going to find out where these players rank, as they all were really dominant in their region. You know, like I said, not all regions are created the same. Depth in a certain role is not the same. When it comes to Worlds and ranking the players, when it comes to minor regions, I'm probably going to utilize playoff stats and not regular split stats to eliminate all the outliers and really bad teams, lack of depth, and things like that. I understand not all playoffs are the same, but it'll be better than, you know, what it is with regular season. Crazy from Galistray Esports from TCL, 27.9 damage share, was on average up 19 CS at 15 minutes in his lane. That is a lot. That is a lot. And also, just elite laning at 15 minutes. Had massive XP leads, gold leads, and CS leads at 15 minutes. Very good in lane. Outside of that, Struggle Street, but he is there. In the jungle, Arthur from Chief Esports, 10.2 KDA as Chief Esports dominated the LCO. I could not, explain that enough every week in the power rankings. It will be interesting to see how they play at Worlds if they can get there. They just 3-0'd Order, so Order will not be the team knocking them out like it did in spring. 409 gold per minute, 448 damage per minute, and had an 800 gold difference at 15 minutes on average against its opponent. So Arthur did very, very well in the jungle. Balkan, also in LCO, from Pentanet GG, 6.8 CS per minute, 20% damage share, 486 damage per minute. So he actually had more damage than Arthur. 6.8 CS per minute in the jungle is very high. I mean, that is carry like go to level 6 and then make something happen sort of jungle numbers. 900 gold difference at 15 minutes. Grell from Isurus in the Latin American region, 6.9 CS per minute. So actually out-farmed Balkan. 18% damage share, 406 damage per minute, and was up on average 13 CS at 15 minutes. Levi from Guam Esports, 5.8 CS per minute, but we have to keep in mind, like I said, I put all these regions against each other the same, but we all know the PCS and VCS are the best of the minor regions. Levi, 17.3% damage share, had 6 solo kills and 407 damage per minute. This reminds me, I know J-Beast is not happy because NPR is not up there. NPR in top lane had like 44 solo kills. He dominated in that category across the world. The entire world, he had over 44 solo kills. Well, he had 44, I think is the number. But had a KDA of 2. And then you look at his other stats, and his other stats keep him from the top 5. But we do have to keep in mind, like a player of that caliber is incredible. We have to keep that in mind. Like, seeing him at Worlds would be absolutely awesome, just to see what happens with that aggression. Like, how does it, like, transpire against, like, a major region team? Does he get punished every time? Does he not? It would be very interesting to watch. I understand that J-Beast is probably not happy that he's not on the list, but his other stats are not as strong. Speaking of strong stats, Boogie from Astral Esports in Latin America, 7.3 KDA, 6.3 CS per minute, 80% KP. So 80% KP, while also 6.3 CS per minute. Like, you can't get better than that. We may have the next jungler from Latin America going to one of the 4 major regions. If he continues to put numbers up like that, a great Worlds performance, I could see it 100%. 20.3% damage share, I really could see it. Mid lane, Gory from PSG, the former FPX mid laner, Nongshim mid laner, been in the LCK and LPL. Now he's in the PCS. He replaced Juhan, and Juhan was not mid. Juhan, who was the mid laner? Oh, geez, it wasn't Juhan. Bay. It was Bay. So, Gory replaced Bay in mid, 9.5 CS per minute, which was incredible in mid, 34.3 damage share, 776 damage per minute. Some people are going to say, well, that means the games were fiestas, this, that, and the other. Whatever, man. That is what it is. Aggregate, he was the top-rated mid laner, and if you really think about it, it makes sense. Gory has played in the LCK and LPL. He should be the best mid laner in the minor regions with a resume that he has. Jet from Sengoku Gaming in Japan, 9.5 CS per minute, 695 damage per minute, 467 gold per minute. Very high gold numbers, but I noticed in the LJL, a lot of great laning numbers, a lot of great laners in there. I wonder if laning phase is not as combative, because the laning numbers are very, very good. Many players have very good laning numbers. Yuri from Pentanet Gaming alongside Balkan above, 6.7 KDA, up on average 9 CS every 15 minutes in a game. 725 damage per minute, and was not first blood at all this split, which is notable. Not many players can say that. Balulu from Nasser Esports Turkey. Balulu was the player I made note of before the split started for Nasser Turkey. I said he had to 1v9 to get the job done. Obviously, Bong played very well, and that was not necessary, really. but he went 11.9 KDA, 32.8% of the damage, and 640 gold on average per game at 15 minutes. Bululu was ahead of his opponent. 640 gold in mid is sizable. That is a sizable gold difference. Yaharung from Detonation Focus Me did not die a lot this split. 17.8 KDA. 10 CS per minute. He had these crazy numbers in spring as well. At MSI, he was struggling at times. I feel like when someone got aggressive with him, he did struggle, which is what I'm getting to with sorry, not Latin America, but LJL. I feel like their laning phases aren't as, smash mouth, if you will. He did not get first blooded once, and on average, he's up 14 CS every 15 minutes when a game's, I say it wrong every time. On average, he's up 14 CS at 15 minutes in every game. Bot lane, Reyes. Now, Reyes should be highly ranked as well. Former LCS bot laner. Very capable. 10.8 KDA. Was not first blood once. On average, was up 1,400 gold at 15 minutes. Like a BF sword. Like on average, he is ahead. Let alone what else he could be ahead. Like that is just incredible. Hybrid from Crest Gaming Act in the LJL. 10.1 CS per minute. 33.3% of the team's damage. Was not first blood. 76.4 KP. So they did not fight without Hybrid involved, and he was farming a lot. So you had a mix of both. Somehow he's able to get into 76% of fights, but also farm at over 10 CS per minute. That is very, very freaking good. Bao from, I cannot pronounce them, but it's FB from Turkey. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce it because it's Turkish, and I don't even have, I barely have Portuguese even obrigado down, let alone getting Turkish down. 42% of first bloods Bao was involved in for FB. That's pretty damn good. You don't see that often. 42% of first bloods having the AD carry as part of it. Was not first blood himself, very important. 75.7 KP, 31.7% of his team's damage. 5 Kid from Team Ace, we saw him at MSI, struggled a lot, but also returned with a good summer. 10 CS per minute in Latin America. 14 CS up at 15 minutes on average. 6 solo kills. 689 damage per minute from 5 Kid. Lil V from J-Team. J-Team just lost recently in the PCS playoffs, which is concerning. I'll get to that later. 13 CS per game ahead at 15 minutes. 914 gold up every game at 15 minutes. So he's up 13 CS, 914 gold. Averages 489 gold per minute. Support role. I expanded my support stats a bit. So bear with me here. I'm sure some people are going to say, well, this is that. Well, I like to think that it's important for supports. So Karis from Frank Esports, formerly K2, 8.8 KDA, 71.8 kill participation. Ackerman from Infinity, I believe they're out of the playoffs, but Ackerman has been at Worlds and MSI before. 3.08 vision score per minute. That's good, right? Vision score is important for supports. And 40.47, so just under one ward cleared every other minute for Ackerman. Shadow from Astral Esports in Latin America as well. Participated in half of their team's first bloods. Pretty solid. Getting around, making things happen. 7.7 KDA as well for Shadow. Fleshy from Nasser Esports Turkey, 3.81 vision score per minute. And every 3 minutes, they're clearing 2 wards. Pretty damn good, I would say. Cios from Loud, 1.7 average wards dropped per minute. So they're putting down like 17, 18 wards for every 10 minutes. I assume that's what that is. And then, I don't know what the other stat is. Cios was one of the top rated on aggregate. I'm just trying to get used to these stats and kind of understanding them completely. I try and stay out of the nitty gritty, but vision score isn't all that nitty gritty. And obviously people are going to say, well, if you're ahead in lane, you're going to do well. You know, you get prio in lane, you're going to have good vision. If you're winning, you're going to have good vision. Well, yeah. But if you're winning, you probably should be on this list. Not to say that I look at the standings. I don't. Standings and win rate mean nothing to me. But when it comes to getting vision, I feel like getting vision is important. I feel like it's one of the key ways to win the game. A vision diff is a big diff. So I feel like supports need more stats than just KP, KDA, and then if they're getting first blood or not. So I included wards and vision score in here. Now, when it comes to teams making worlds, VCS, I think it's going to be Saigon and GOM Esports. Tomorrow, I'm going to watch Saigon, Buffalo, and Team Secret play. There's no 4 major regions on, so it's that or watching Burning Core and Crest Gaming Act. So we're going to watch the VCS instead. No offense to the LJL, but first come, first serve. We got to watch the VCS. So that's what I'm going to watch. And we're going to get an idea if Saigon Buffalo actually has returned to form. Team Secret is a team that's also vying for a playoff spot, world spot, so it will be important. And I think GOM will get it done because GOM are very good. In the TCL, Nasser, Turkey dominated in regular split. I'm going to take them here. Latin America, Astral, same reason. Chief Esports Club, very similar. Then we look at LJL. So Detonation Focus Me has to overcome their demons against Sengoku Gaming, who went 2-0 against DFM this split to get out. And I think Detonation Focus Me will, winning best of 5s and getting it done. CBLOL is going to be very hectic. We've got Pain Gaming still alive, Red Canids, Faria. I think Red Canids and Faria have to play in loser bracket to play loud. Winner of that one then plays Pain. So we'll see how that goes. If I get freed up time, I might watch that. It all depends on the schedule and how things kind of pan out here going into the weekend. I know somebody's had suggested to watch CBLOL games, and maybe tomorrow I might watch a couple of the playoff series just across these regions, watch the VODs and give my opinion. Now PCS, PSG, I think get out. PSG are just really good. They've been good. They've been getting out for years. I think they get out again, right? Now with the other spot, a lot up in the air. Frank Esports lost to Flying Oyster, which makes sense. Frank Esports were really topsy-turvy in best of 1s, so best of 5s may be a struggle. That's feasible. J-Team lost, though, to Deep Cross Gaming. Maybe. No, Beyond Gaming they lost to. So what do I think about that? Well, looking at J-Team have been swapping between Rock and Driver in top lane for all split long. That's not a recipe for success. That does not get you success. Excuse me, I'm not going with J-Team as a guarantee here. I think it could be Deep Cross Gaming. I wouldn't be shocked. I believe some of their players I had ranked before the split started in the upper tier of their roles. Leaky comes to mind as a top laner maybe for Deep Cross Gaming, and their mid laner Nesty. So that's a thing. There's a lot of interesting things in the PCS coming down the pipe here, and the PCS is very competitive. Top-rated minor region over the years. So it's definitely something that we want to keep an eye on and respect, because they can take games off of EU for sure. They've been taking games off of G2 for years. And definitely North America. They can do that as well. And be competitive with the LPL and LCK at times. So it's definitely something to watch and keep an eye on. So give the PCS some love if you don't have anything else to watch. But that's it for this video. Comment down below with your opinions, your insight, and scouting reports on these players. Like the video if you like it. Subscribe to the channel for daily League of Legends content. Like I said, tomorrow I will be doing a video probably on the minor regions a bit more. Give the minor regions some love, some thoughts I have on the top teams after watching just a few of their games. And I'm gonna disclaimer, just a few of their games. I think it's very important to watch more than a few games to get an idea of a team. I feel like people watch a series and say this team is good, this team is bad, but you don't really know that off of one series. I really don't. So that's a thing. But thank you for watching. Discord links in the description if you want to go do that. And yeah, hope you come back for more content.